never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. They cannot stop me. I will get my education if it is in the home, school, or any place. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. He who opens a school door closes a prison. Education is the ability to meet life situations. Learning starts with failure. The first failure is the beginning of education. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. Education consists mainly of what we have unlearned. If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. The more that you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
All right, okay, thank you. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this 7-day national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and essential AI tools for teachers. This is organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC and the Department of Computer Science of Albert's College, Autonomous Ernakulam, in association with the Kerala State Higher Education Council, the KSHEC. We would like to welcome today's resource person, Dr. Sunil Job KA, who's the adjunct faculty, Marine College, Kottakanam, Autonomous. And we would like to welcome all the FTP participants for today. Now, few things about this FTP. This is a 7-day program with live sessions from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is actually the second day of our FTP. The fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 500. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recordings for all the days, and the provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of this FTP. If any of you are yet to make the payment, please make the payment of rupees 500 to the account details I will shortly put in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. We have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access later in the day or by tomorrow, or the latest. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, we are also running this simultaneously on YouTube Live. I will put the link to that YouTube Live here now in the chat. If you want, you can also attend through that. My name is Sijin Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, moving on to today's topic. Today's topic will be Introduction and Architecture of OBE. This is going to be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job KA, who's the adjunct faculty, Marine College, Kottakanam, Autonomous. Dr. Sunil Job has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Carmela Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies in IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has also published a few articles in national journals and authored a few academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as the adjunct professor, Marine College, Kottakanam, Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, Sunil sir.
Thank you, Sujin. That was really good introduction about me. And let me confirm that whether my voice is okay.
Yes, you're audible, sir. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, good evening, all. I think you are having a very pleasant evening. Now we are very in the second day of our 7-day journey of this faculty development program in outcome-based education and essential AI tools. So obviously, in the previous day, we had a lot of persons that are talking on this outcome-based education, its importance, and also myself has given you a session on Bloom's taxonomy, and also I have just given you the detailing regarding the importance of Bloom's taxonomy, why Bloom's taxonomy has been given that much of importance in outcome-based education, because it has been spanning the entire process of outcome-based education, right from formulation to assessments. So last day we had a very that is a very meaningful reflection on Bloom's taxonomy and how we are able to filter out the learning, that is the learning processes, as well as we are able to analyze each questions and to identify what level of learning that question addresses. That was our the nutshell of what we have done in the previous sections. And those who have missed those sections, as Sejin has mentioned, it will be available in the LMS. So those who didn't get an opportunity to attend that sections, it will be available the next day in that LMS. Okay. And also, I'm very happy to see that there are many participants have been visiting and making use of the LMS, because actually we know that the real life of this outcome-based education, this FTP, the hands-on section is there in the LMS. So if you have taken the taxes, don't miss that opportunity to avail it to the maximum, because there are a lot of resources in Shotkey is being listed there. A lot of automated tools is there. So you can work along with that, so that that will make your journey for the preparation of outcome-based education quite easy. So today, what we are going to, that is the focus of the today's section, is to introduce about the architecture of this outcome-based education, and also the key point in today's FTP is how to design, how to formulate an outcome. That is something very important when we come to the first phase of outcome-based education, formulation of outcome. So probably we'll be just bringing some clarity into what is outcome, what is the difference between outcome and objective, as well as we'll be trying to put some light on what is program outcome, what is the difference between program outcomes and program specific outcomes, and how to that is write formulate a program outcome and for program specific outcomes, as well as how to write, what are the different ways of writing course outcomes, and something important is I'll be giving you a scale on that is what is the quality check for a good outcome. So this will be the nutshell of what we have been, what we'll try to explore for today. Let me go to my presentations. I've got few slides to share with you, so that we can have a very that is specific analysis and discussions, which has been streamlined to today's section on outcome-based education. So let me share my slides. And as I've told that actually there is some issues with internet connectivity, because the weather here in Kerala, you know that it's a lot of issues with internet connectivity, especially in November, because there is a lot of thunder showers. So there is a possibility of this scaling down of the speed of internet. And also, let me keep my video close and share the screen. So now, once again, Sijin, I would like to disturb you. Whether my screen is visible and both my sound is audible. If both okay, then we can go ahead.
Yes, your screen has come up. Yeah, all right, okay.
Okay.
And
So
you're
thank you,
audible. Yeah.
Okay,
Please proceed.
so we can go ahead.
Yeah.
So here we go with the section 2. That is, the theme of this section will be introduction to OBE. Actually, as I've mentioned in my introductory remark, introduction to OBE, that which will be going with the architecture of OBE and formulation of outcomes. So this is the key takeaways that you will be having for today's section. To begin with, it is always better to check the menu, what we are going to have for tonight in this FTP. So this will be the agenda for today's. That is, obviously, we have to begin with what and why of OBE, because that is the motive or the spring of action that to this process of OBE. So we'll be trying to get some answer on why we need OBE. What is the relevance of OBE in the current scenario? So this is something that we'll be just comprehending in one slide. And then I'll be just going through the building block of OBE that gives you a view on the architecture of OBE. So what are the different components that comes into that OBE scenario? So that we'll be discussing on the building block of OBE. And these are the different components that you will be finding in the building block. That is the program educational objective. That's the one old man in outcome-based education. Objective. The term objective comes only once when we try to define program educational objectives. Then we'll be familiarizing with what is graduate attribute and how a graduate attribute will be converted into a program outcome. So that is something we'll be discussing a little specifically there. Then we'll be going with the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. Obviously, now I think we have most of the colleges have gone much ahead with the outcome based education. So there is a clarity regarding PO and PSO, but still we'll be putting some thoughts on that PO and PSO. What is it? How to differentiate it? And course outcomes, that's something that every participants, probably teachers would be should know. Probably they would have given or written program outcomes. So this knowledge will help them to revisit the this course outcomes and to make some, if there is a need to make some corrections, that we'll be able to know by going through that. So writing course outcomes, I'll be just giving you a small formula for writing a course outcome, and then we'll be just trying to analyze what are the criteria, what is the quality check for a good outcome. So these are the main task, or not tasks, these are the main points that we'll be exploring in this segment. And also obviously as I've told that as LMS is also keeping in par with our this FTP. What I'll be just detailing on what is the task that we have for today in the LMS. So that is the nutshell of what we'll be going to have for tonight. And also I remember that last day I've just given a promise that yesterday I've just kept you up to 9:15, and today that won't happen. And I told that I'll be compensating it for today. So I think I will be making the section complete before time. So I think we'll be able to stick on to that. So here we go. Why and what of OB? We want to get an answer for why and what of OB. So that is, I want a little more interactive, because normally after the sections, the platform will be open for you for posing any questions regarding outcome-based education. But still, when we are progressing ahead, we will communicate to each other through chat. When I pose some questions, I will be live once by seeing your responses, because when we keep a rapport, definitely that will boost our energy. So in between, I'll just be posing some questions, and I am expecting you to answer in the chat. So that will keep both of us in a good rapport when we go ahead. So this is a very significant slide that gives you a light on why this OB is the need of the time. So this is nothing but a study report which has been published in this enhancing university education, in a journal enhancing university education. So what this chart depict is that this is the status of the students who have completed a professional program. It's an engineering program. The study has been conducted in the engineering program. So this is the status of the students, those who have completed the professional program. So I think you can just go through this chart. It look quite nice. You can see an x-axis going this horizontally, which showcases on the percentage of passes. I am going to pose a question regarding the percentage of pass. So what is your opinion regarding the percentage of pass? Let me take. Okay, let me take the chat so that I can read the chat. I'm taking it from my phone. Okay, okay. So can you? Okay, and now I've just opened the chat because since it is in the presentation mode, I'll not be able to monitor the chat from here. So I have just kept a parallel login in. So it's an average percentage. Why you say it's an average? What is the percentage of pass? You can put it in the figures. How many percent? What percentage of the students have passed? Okay. Some is saying 84, some is saying 91. There is a small conflict among the views. Actually, 84 percentage has passed, and above that, 7% is also passed. So when we check this x-axis, this is the percentage. What comes to the right of this line? What comes to the right of this line have passed, isn't it? So obviously 84 plus 7, 91 percentage of this of the students have passed the professional program without any supplementary paper. Definitely that is a good result, because we know that some professional programs the last few years, especially in the South Indian states, the percentage of pass is not much glorifying. So obviously 91 percentage pass is a good thing. And now is the focus of the importance of OBE. You can see a y-axis going up. What does this y-axis showcases? Why this percentage of pass is not showcased as 91 in one ellipse? Why? Because there is a second details which has been given in this chart regarding a test which has been given to the students regarding a task that could be performed by them related to the area of study, which is relevant in a live scenario. So obviously, we could find that out of this 91 percentage, only 7 percentage was able to complete the task related to their area of study, and that has been significantly applied to the real life scenario. And those who have failed on testing them, they was not been able to complete the task. They have been a failure in the academics and also in the live activities. So, is this something a good thing? Is it something good? This is the fallacy of the our educational system. That is, a professional course is been preparing a students for 4 to 5 years in the professional in a professional wavelength, so that they'll be able to take up any responsibilities, take up any responsibility related to the trade that which they have been practicing for the last 4 years. But after completing the academics, when they come to the industry, only a very limited students are able to perform well in the industry related to the workspace. So this is something very that is that cannot be accepted for higher education institutions. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. Obviously, we could know that many of the CEOs of great big companies says that the graduates which has been passing out of the Indian universities are not directly job fit. They have to streamline them for about 5 to 6 months to make them compatible to take any assignments related to the task. So this is something we cannot accept it. And also when they come to the social space, and also that we could find that there is a lot of gaps between them for accommodating into the social metrics in a better way. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. So, what the outcome-based education primarily focuses on, primarily focuses on is to take all the students from this blue area, from this red area into this green area. What is that? That is, the student should be academically, that x-axis shows that they should be academically sound, and y-axis shows that they should have those competencies. I repeat, they should have those competencies which make them successful in their life, in their career. yeah, that is in their life, in the sense they should be a worthy and a productive citizens who are accountable to the society, as well as in the physical environment, as well as they are able to work with their peers in the workspaces. So that is what this y-axis emphasizes. But traditionally in the normal system, we are giving overemphasis on the academical inputs, so that we want the students to qualify the exams with good marks, so that they become academically sound. But this outcome based education want them to be both academically sound, as well as they should be competent with the different competencies. If they want to get do the task related to some related, they should have some technical competencies like problem solving ability, the ability to work together in a team, the ability for project management, ability of communication skill. All these competencies put together make them successful in their life and career. So that is this y-axis also is been prominent in an outcome based scenario. That is why we are showcasing all these things as PO. You would have written a number of POs like ethics, or this environment and sustainability, problem solving ability, critical thinking. All these things are something that make them successful in their life and career, and that is what is been showcased in the y-axis. This is the academical inputs that we give through the different courses, etc, etc, etc. So what we say is that if they want to be if they have to reach this green area, they have to be academically sound, as well as they have to be they should possess those competencies that makes them successful. Then only we can push all the students to this green area. I think now it is clear. So this is the technical importance of outcome based education, and that is why we say that outcome based education will enhance, if it has been properly implemented the right way, it will definitely enhance the quality of the higher educational system. So this is the importance of outcome based education. So we want the students to occupy their spaces in this green area. That means they have to be academically sound. Academically sound means they should have that much of knowledge. They should know those that knowledge which has been related to their discipline, as well as they should have those competencies which they makes them successful in their life and career. So that is what outcome based education focuses. Now with this picture, you can just read what is outcome based education, because this is we are starting from the zero level. So obviously it is important to just read this what is outcome based education. It's a model of education that deviates from the traditional focus. Definitely the traditional focus, we are giving more importance to the academical inputs, that is the x-axis that has been showcased in the previous slide. What the provide in favor of making the students demonstrate that they know and able to do. So these are the two axes that we've seen. That is, the student should be that they should have the fundamental knowledge related to the domain, as well as the different areas that they have been working, as well as they should be competent in the different competencies that makes them successful. So they are able to know and able to do related to their profession, as well as they are able to perform well with a multiple competency sets in the real life space. So that is the importance of outcome based education. Definitely the outcome based education, when we begin with the outcome based education, these are the basic principles that is there in the outcome based education, because the outcome based education gives a clarity of focus. So this thing need a little that is reflection regarding why outcome based education gives a clarity of focus. Because I will just that is before we were that is adopting objective based instruction. Now the paradigm shift is to outcome based education. The objective based education, objective is whose objective? The teacher's objective. And outcome based education means the teacher's objective is being, we are looking it from the other end. That is, what is the end product of the process of education should be. That is, what is the end product, what the students are capable of doing, clear and crisp. We have to define it in a precise and concise manner, and then put it in the front and make it ensure that they are attained. So to make it little more clear, I will just give an example. This is an example which I normally share with those participants in the sections which I used to take. So suppose if you're trying to build a house, obviously building. So if you are trying to build, suppose if you have an objective of building an house, objective, that is, what is your objective? You are going to build that, you are preparing to make a house for you yourself. So building an house means there are some questions coming in the chat. Designing down, what is designing down? I am just making it clear. So just attend to what these principles. So these things is very important. So what I'm trying to tell is that this is you are going to build a house. So obviously, when you're having an objective of building a house, obviously you should have some the capital amount that could be spent for building a house. You should have some the landed property. Then you should have some idea, some objective how that your house should look like, how much square feet you should afford with your with your capital that you are going to invest for house. About the square feet, how many rooms is there in your aim, or in your objective, how many rooms should be there? So you will be having an objective of building an house. So what you do, you go and consult with an architect. So you are discussing all these things together. So till then you are not having the real picture on what will be the final form of the house, definitely, isn't it? So definitely you are having an objective that you will be trying to invest about 50 lakhs for building a house. You are going to build a house of about 3000 square feet, less than 3000 square feet. You are going to build a 3 bkh or no, 4 bedroom, and likewise you will be having you need a puja room like that. But still, these are your aims, your objective, but still the final end is not clear how your house is going to be look like. Okay, so in consultation with the architect, you have an objective of building a house, everything is been discussed there. But the same scenario, you are taking an your architect to any already existing house of that you would like, that is, you want to build a house exactly like this. That is, you are pointing a house to the architect. That is that house, this is the house which is there in my dream, and with the permission of that owner, with the permission of the owner, you are telling that architect that I want exactly the same design, the same architecture, the same thing, exactly the same thing for me. So what is the difference? The first thing, the clarity was not there regarding how the house is going to look like. So now you are pointing the entire structure to the architect and says that I need exactly the same house to be built in my property. Okay, so what is the difference? In the second instance, there is clarity, isn't it? How many rooms will be there? What is the spec of each rooms? What is the front elevation? Everything will be exactly clear for you as well as the architect, and you can dream that this is going to have this house will be exactly built for me in my plot. So what is the difference? The end result is concrete, and you are exposing the end result. So what will the architect do? It will begin from the end result, and he will be designing down. Designing down means the end result is there, that this is the final house that should be constructed for my client. So that he will go, he will just check out the spaces there. He will take the measurements, he will make the designs, and from there he will be designing down, he'll be coming up to the first plan of that house, and this budget, then likewise. So this is what outcome based education say. So what should be the final format? What should be the final format? Should be first fixed. And what is our final intention? We want the house to be in the final format, and we'll be designing from the final format right from the foundation. and we will be building up one by one in lines with the final format, so that by the end of the construction, the house exactly what we have planned will be there. So this is exactly the outcome based education. That is, you are first identifying what are the outcomes that the student should be able to do. So what are the things that the student should be able to do out the end of the program, just like the finished format of the house. So the student should have such and such things. He should be able to communicate that much effectively. He should be able to solve the problems independently. He should be able to take the leadership in many areas like that. You will be fixing, you will be planning. This is the final format of the students when he pass out of the education institutions, isn't it? Just like the house. So this is fixed first. So these are the competencies that the student should attain when he move out, isn't it? So, and how this could be attained? You will be planning. You will be planning from the end will be fixed first, and you will be designing down. That means, in order to attain that much level of this communication skill, what all things should be given to the students as the form of curriculum? You want that much level of problem solving ability. So in order to attain that, what all exercises that I should give to the students as a part of the curriculum? I want the students to have a high level of creative thinking. So in order to attain that, what should be the activities I have to showcase in at the different semesters, so that finally I'll be able to attain, the students will be able to attain that level of creative thinking ability. So likewise, you are showcasing what the students should be able to do when they pass out. Just like what is the final format of the house should be fixed first, and from there you are designing down what are activities I should give for the first semester, what are activities I should give to the second semester, in lines of these what the outcomes, that the program outcomes that you are fixed first. This is what outcome based education really means. So it gives a clarity, what should be the final thing when he pass out, what all things he should be able to. That means these are the product specifications. You are just specifying what the students should be, the specifications of students when they pass out, isn't it, of your college. So these are the specifications, and you are designing every activities from that point down. So that is what designing down. Someone has asked what is designing down. So what should be the end will be fixed first, and you are designing your entire course programs so that the end will be met, is it? So if you're going to take a class, what should be the that is after taking the class, what all things that students should be able to do, that should be fixed first, and you have to design down for that what all activities you have to incorporate in your class, so that by the end of the class you the student should be able to do. So this is what designing down. So the outcome based education is been built up in these principles. Clarity of focus, clarity is there, what is the end product is being specifically showcased, and you're designing it down. If it is PO, the entire course has been designed accordingly. If it is a course, the entire activities for the course will be designed accordingly. If it is a class, the entire activities will be designed accordingly. Then high expectation and expanded opportunities. High expectation is that if you are planning, if you are giving a lot of opportunity or a diversification of activities to the students, if you have been designing very complicated things, will the students able to do, isn't it? That is what in the previous slide I've shown that Bloom's that is Benjamin Bloom's remark, that is anybody can learn, provided if you're giving them the right that is if you're giving them the right space for them to learn. Right space in the sense there should be a connection between the prior and the current learning environment. So everybody, so high expectations. So the outcome based education wants the students to go through the different challenging situations, so that they can excel out with the best. So they don't want the students to be in an absolutely in a comfort zone. They want the students to be in the challenging situations because they have the high expectation. Then only they will excel out and expanded opportunities. So these are the basic principles that have to be taken into considerations while we are going with outcome-based educations. So this should be you will be thinking these are not the theories; these are the live stuff in the outcome-based education. It is not a theory. It is not a theory concept. It is the lifeblood of outcome-based education. Without blood, how can we live? These things should be incorporated into every activity that gives life to the outcome-based education. Otherwise, your outcome-based education will be in few statements which you are showcasing in the website. Okay, a few outcomes you have showcased. That is fine, and you have just made some calculation. That is fine. But the real life is through these incorporating these principles into every activity that gives life to the outcome-based education, and that makes outcome-based education purposeful. That is, students will gain something. Otherwise, only in the paper outcome-based education will be there. So that is very, very important, because when I used to discuss thing, or normally I used to see that, okay, this is the lifeblood of outcome based education. How can we have life without lifeblood? So that is taken in that sense. And what is the architecture of outcome based education is like that. When we have designed our curriculum in lines with the outcome based education, obviously everywhere, every college will have a vision and mission. Normally I used to see this this will be showcased in the very that is a place where everybody will be able to see what is the vision and mission, because it is a leading light. The vision and mission, the vision will be the goal and mission will be how we'll be able to taking the students. So that's something very important. And coming to the outcome based education, the first important thing is that we have to formulate program educational objectives. In the consequent slides, we will be discussing on details about this. These are the different components in this architecture. We'll be deciding what is this. So this is the only odd man in outcome based education. Program educational objective, only one word. This you can see in the form of objectives. Rest everything will be written as outcome. So what is program educational objective? It is nothing but what should be the goal of the program. Goal means futuristic. Goal means futuristic. What the student should be able to do when they pass out from your college, isn't it, from your institutions. That is, they have to find a career, or they have to go for higher education, or they have to live in par with the society, in sync with the society. Likewise, you will be having some goals regarding the immediate goals. That is, after about 10 to 15 years, definitely more influences on that particular individual will be his life experiences, or the different experiences that they have gained. But when a student pass out of the education institutions, the first few years, especially 3 to 4 years, the major influence will be what they have accumulated from your college. So when you're planning an outcome-based education, the what the student should be able to do after the immediately when he leaves the college for the first 3 to 4 years, isn't it? So that should be planned, and that is the program educational objective. So this program educational objective should be prepared in lines of vision and mission. Definitely vision and mission will decide the modus of operandi of our education institutions, and also they have to live with the society, right? So in consultation with the stakeholders, you have to, the education institution should frame what the educational goals, which we can call it as program educational objectives. So you can see that when an arrow is coming down, when we are formulating the curriculum of outcome-based education, this arrow should come from top to down. That is, this program education objective should be in line with our vision and mission, as well as from the feedback that we get from the stakeholders. And what is program educational outcomes and program specific outcomes? Actually, we will be discussing it in detail when we come to the consequent slides. So at this point of time, I will just give you a small briefing on what is program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So as I've told that in outcome based education, we will be prefixing the end. That is, when a student pass out of your college, when the student pass out of your college, what are the competencies that the student should possess, isn't it? The student should have this level of communication skill, the student should have this level of problem solving ability, the student should have this level of what, So after completing the entire program, these are the product specification of the student. If the students are considered as the product, or that is, we say that, okay, he is the product of our college. So what should be the product specification of your college? Isn't it? Okay, you say that, okay, I am the product of St. Albert's College. So what is the product specification of St. Albert's College? The student passing out of the student, St. Albert, he should have this much level of communication skill. So this will be prefixed first. That is nothing but the program outcome, your program that you are entering through the college in the form of different programs, and the end result of the programs. This should be the specification of the students when they pass out. So this is nothing but the program outcomes. So I will say, so these program outcomes are nothing but, in simple terms, I will say, the program outcomes are nothing but a bunch of competencies. And in an outcome based educational scenario, we call that bunch of competency as graduate attribute. Communication skill, it is a bunch of competency where the student should be able to read, the write, comprehend, should have a good vocabulary bank, they have to communicate effectively using modern medias, they have to negotiate. A bunch of competencies, we call it as a single word, what? Communication skill. So communication skill, we can call it as a graduate attribute. Okay, and this graduate attribute, when it is written in the form of a verbal statement, we call it as program outcome. Same. So graduate attribute is the single word for program outcome. It is a bunch of competencies, and this graduate, by acquiring this graduate attribute, what the students are capable of doing, when you are verbally stating it, we call it as program outcome. So this is what. So there is a link between these educational objectives and this program outcome. What is the link? We want the students to be, that is get that is, we want the students to get a job or a career, or begin a startup. If that was the one of the educational goal, then these program outcomes, or I will say that graduate attributes, should be in line with these educational objectives. So these are the takeaways that you're taking from your college. So these takeaways should fuel them to what, for actualization of these educational goals. So definitely the program outcomes should be in line with the educational goals. So you can just imagine what the students are capable of doing when they leave the college after completing the program. That competencies will be showcased as program outcomes. How are they attained? They are attained through the different curricular activity that you give through different packets. I will say that different packets. What are the different packets? In first semester, probably if there are 5 courses, each course is a packet, isn't it? What is the intention of the course? Definitely, the intention of the course will be for the actualization of the program outcomes that you are showcased in the initial phase. So you are distributing different courses across your different semesters, if it is 6 or if it is 8, if it is when we come to 4-year integrated program, we'll be having 8 semesters. So it will be distributed across these 8 semesters. So all these 8 semesters program will be finally pointing the students to the program outcomes that we are showcased first. So all the courses that we are giving as a part of the program will be in line with the program education. That is why for formulation of the curriculum, this arrow is coming down, because the vision and mission, the educational objective should be in par with vision and mission. And definitely the graduate attributes that you are equipping the students should be in line with educational objectives, and these graduate attributes are attained by different courses that you are giving, so this should be in line. So when you are designing a course, it should come from top to down, and you can see the arrow going from bottom to top. Why? Because by the end of the program, you have to identify, we have to ensure whether the students have attained the target that you have fixed for each competencies target, isn't it? So if you are fixing the target as 60%, that is the students passing from your college, moving out of the college after completing the program, should attain the target, the 60% level of what, of what? That communication skill. If it is problem solving ability, they should cross that particular level, just like the 40% marks needed for passing an exam. Same, the target for each competencies will be set. Normally when we go for mentoring for the different colleges, the teachers are having a lot of confusion. What is the target? What is the difference between target? So it is nothing but the benchmarking to say that if you want to say that your students have successfully completed or attained that level of competency. What competency? The graduate attribute communication skill. Obviously you will be having some measurements, and that measurements will take the students up to the target that you set, isn't it? So if the students complete the target, if it is 60%, okay. If the students have completed covered the target, definitely we can say that the students have attained that particular competency. So this is what outcome based education. So the attainment is, we are not directly going and measuring this program outcomes and program specific outcomes, because these program outcomes and program specific outcomes are attained by different courses, the content, or different activities that you give as a part of the course. So by assessing the performance of the students in these activity, maybe it is an assignment, maybe it will be creating a portfolio, maybe it will be a project, maybe it will be an external examinations. So by assessing the students uh, performance in these grassroots level, different activities that you give as a part of the course, you will be assessing the attainment, and on the basis of the attainment you will be assessing the CO level, the course level attainment, and on the basis of the course level attainment you will be directly calculating the program level attainment, and after calculating the program level attainment you will be checking whether the program level attainment of the students have crossed that particular what targeted level. So outcome based education want everyone to come to that green area. That is, everyone should be able to cross the targeted area. That is why in in a outcome based education, when we are giving outcome based education in the interacting the students in an outcome based education, we are giving importance to formative evaluation. So formative evaluation is just to an indicator to check whether the students are progressing in the right way to the particular level of target, so that everybody will be attaining that target. So that is the ultimate aim of outcome based education. Every student should have that much of scholastic ability, as well as the PO is nothing but the competencies that you are showcased in the program. So now I think it is a very long thing. Now there is a small what you could say, a paradigm shift. So I want you to put something in the chat. What is the difference that you could see? There's a paradigm shift going from traditional system into the contemporary system. This guy is not the teacher; he's the scholar. Normally, we can say that this is a scholar for a traditional system, who is there. Probably you can see that he's standing with a book. We are giving priority to bookish knowledge. We want them to get high marks for exams. That is a traditional system. That is a traditional system. And what is the transformation is all about? What is the change that you could find? Isn't it? Actually, I would like to share something, an experience which I had while I was having an offline section. It's a really joke. So, what is the change that you could find in traditionally, obviously, and in the right side, contemporary system? What is the change you could see? So, it is for a fun saying. One of the teachers told that. So, in the second, that guy is wearing a spectacle. So that is a bigger change. So obviously myself is also having a spectacle, right? So that's a joke. So that you have given a very smart answers. I was just taking that okay, in the contemporary system the learner are okay, the smart learners, they are multitaskers, isn't it? They should have that much of importance for the conceptual level attainment, At the same time, they should be multitasking. They should have creative ideas. They should have that time management skills. They should have the ability to evaluate the worth of anything. They should be competent with the modern tool usage. Likewise, a number of things should be there. So that is why in the contemporary system, in the outcome based education, we are not only giving importance for the academical marks. We are giving importance to what I have mentioned earlier, what I said, that the packets competencies. So a number of competencies should be ensured when the students are passing out. So not only they are having a very that is a uh, that is the academical level marks, but they should be competent with the different competencies which will be showcasing as the different POs and PSOs. So this is the paradigm shift in the contemporary system, especially when we go with outcome based education. So now, as I've told that I am just detailed on the architecture, and I'm just taking one by one, just going into a granular level. What is program educational objective? Now I think it is, for you, it is clear that program educational objective is nothing but what should be the goal of the program. Goal means futuristic. That is why objective is viewing from the starting point. That is when they pass out, where the students should go. That is it is futuristic objective, what the student should be capable of doing after passing out of the educational institution, isn't it? So there you can just read this. They are broad statement that focuses on what the students are expected. That is the objective means expectation, expected to attain within the first few years. I have just given you the rationales on why first few years, because we know that on completing a program, the first when the student leave the college, the first few years, the major influence will be. That is why in an outcome based education, we should get feedback from the students. That is for the first few years, through the alumni, we have to get some different indirect evaluation of the students, how they're performing in that workspace, etc, etc, etc. So we are, after completing the program, when the student pass out, our connection is not terminated. We have to make periodical follow up with the students, with the alumni, with the peers, and with that employer where the students is being working. Like that, they should have a connection, so that we should be getting an idea on how your course or program have benefited them, and if it is not benefited, you have to make periodical change. So in an outcome based education, the curriculum is not rigid. It should be always evolving in the sense, from the output that we get from the stakeholders, we have to make some changes, some restructuring in our what we could say, the program educational objectives in the curriculum, in the way in which they are entered. All these things have to be make periodically changed, so that we have to ensure that the students should be fit and smart when they leave out of the educational institutions, and they should be successful in life as well as in career space. So this is program educational, what you could say, the program educational objectives. You can read. Normally, this is what I've mentioned. The program educational, they are the broad statement that focuses on what the students are expected to do, expected to attain within first few years after completion of the program when they move out. So this is the educational goal, and these are how can we measure that the students are moving out? How can we measure that? So that is why we have to make some periodical follow up. We have to get some feedback from the employer where our students are working, or from the alumni, or likewise, we have to make some survey, get some data from about the students, how they're performing in their life spaces. So this data is why we are collecting this data, is that this data should come back as an input for restructuring of the curriculum periodically. That's something very important. So here we could say that how they are, that is when they pass out, all these things are showcasing that they should be related to their career space. This is related to, if they're going after completing a graduate program, they may be going for higher education. So they should have that much of scholastic ability to successfully progress in that field that they are choosing. So these are something, the career spaces. Probably they will be working under an employer, or sometimes they will be starting a they will be starting a startup, so that they become an entrepreneur, giving these jobs for different persons. So likewise, this is something related to the career. This is something related to society, isn't it? That is, when they move out, they have to live in and along with the society. They have to be accountable with the society. As well as so these are the different objectives. So I have just showcased it. These are some dummy objective which I have just formulated just for sharing you that idea. So the program education objectives are not created by the teachers. These are created from the level of the institution while formulating the curriculum. So obviously, what is the first PEO? The graduates will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become professional, employee, and entrepreneur, leading to successful life. So all these things are pointing to career. So after completing a graduation, they should be able to enter upon the comfortable career space, or pursue higher education. So that is one important. So on completing what they have to take up some career responsibility, or they have to take up some what, higher education. So what should be, so this is our program education objective. So when we go out and searching for what should be the graduate attribute that the student should attain, isn't it, on completing the program, these graduate attributes should be in line with the these program educational objectives. Suppose if you want one of our program educational objectives, that we want the students to comfortably get an career, get into a career space. For that, what are the competencies we should ensure in the students, isn't it? So these competencies will be related to this program educational objective. That is, they want to get a job, or become an entrepreneur. So what are the competencies we should ensure in the students? It can be a communication skill, it can be problem solving ability, it can be ability to work in a team, like that. So these are the different competencies. So these PE, the graduate attribute that you are going to showcase at the initial phases, should be in line with the program education objectives. So what is the second one? They graduates will be able to demonstrate commitment towards the preservation of environment and sustainable development of the society. So one is totally related to their career. Second is related to their social environment. They have to live in the society, so they have to be accountable with the society. They have to be accountable with the nation. They have to be a good citizen. Then they have to live in with the physical environment. So they should have that much of thoughts regarding that environment and sustainability, all these things. So that is something very important. Again, now they should pursue lifelong learning. So that is something very, very important, because we cannot live a lifelong with what we have accumulated from our college or from the educational space. Because periodically everything is keeping on changing. So we should develop that competency in the students to keep in rapport with the latest development. So we can showcase a number of objectives like this, and it is on the basis of these objectives what we will be fixing, what, the graduate attribute. And this graduate attribute, when we write it in the form of a outcome statement, what the suppose if the graduate attribute is communication skill, if I'm so I want the students who are passing out of my college should have a 60% target of communication skill. So what is communication skill? What the students should be able to do with this competency? That is, they should be able to read, write, comprehend. Likewise, what they're capable of doing, comprehend. They should have a better vocabulary. Then effective communication with the modern tool usage in their life space and career space. So this is what the communication skill. So graduate attribute written in the form of an outcome statement will become a program outcome. So here we have already identified what should be the goal of the program. And in line with the goal, the institution will have to set the program outcomes. So in order to identify the program outcomes, we have to first go to the core of the program outcomes that we call as graduate attribute. For instance, this is a graduate, this is one of the program educational objective which I have showcased in the previous slide. What is this? The graduate will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become professional employee, entrepreneur, leading to a successful career. If this is the program educational objective, what are the competencies that these graduates should possess when they leave the institutions? You can showcase it in chat. If you want the students to take up a very good job, if you want the students to have a better placement, what are the competencies you have to ensure in the students? Competencies. That is, the competency means the graduate attribute. You can showcase it in the chat. I am looking at the chat. Okay, communication skill, technical knowledge. Okay, leadership, knowledge and leadership. Likewise, isn't it? Career guidance. Career guidance is your guiding. So getting a career. Okay, communication skill like that. You can ensure a number of competencies related to this. So definitely in that architecture, program educational objectives, on the base of this program educational objectives, we should prefix what are the graduate attributes we have to ensure in the students while they leave. So this is program, these graduate attributes are nothing but the program outcomes. What the students should have when they leave this college. So this should be taken first, and the course should be designed in lines with this program outcomes or graduate attributes. So definitely these are the graduate attributes which has been suggested by UGC for these arts and science colleges in generally. So these are suggestions only. So it is the discretions of the college now, as for now, to take the graduate attributes which is in line with the what you could say the program educational objectives that they have already fixed. So according to the educational goals, what are the competencies that you have to ensure in the students? You can pick it from this, or you can include another competencies apart from this also. So what are they? Disciplinary knowledge, isn't it? They have to be competent with the area that they have been mastering, whether if it is in engineering or whether it is in commerce or management. They have to have a thorough knowledge of domain knowledge should be there. Then communication skill, obviously critical thinking, problem solving ability, analytical reasoning. So these are the competencies you have to ensure. You can pick about 7 to 10 competencies which has been more relevant to your program. So this will give you details on what should be the end competencies you have to ensure when the students pass out. So when you're preparing the curriculum, the curriculum should be in line with these competencies. So if you are preparing the curriculum in line of outcome-based education, develop program educational objectives, identify the competencies which makes them successful or for the successful accomplishment of the program education objectives, and these are the end outcomes, the graduate end outcomes of the programs. For ensuring these outcomes, what are the courses you have to include in the program should be in line with this is how. But normally what we have, that we are already having a course running, so we will be just identifying making all these things and porting it into an outcome-based educational format. So that will have some lack of efficiency. Definitely, I'm not going into that. So these are the different graduate attributes which has been suggested by the UGC. Okay, these are the leadership you have been showcased here. The information, reflective thinking, scientific reasoning, cooperation, teamwork, likewise research related, likewise a number of competencies is there. And for engineering colleges, definitely as a part of standardization, a global standardization. We are also a part of the Washington Accord, which is a treaty which has been signed by many leading nations in order to bring a parity regarding the engineering program which has been rendered in different in the different countries which has been the members of this Washington Accord. And they have globally shared that this should be the end level of competencies that a graduate, engineering graduate, should attain when they pass the graduate when they pass the engineering program, whether it is from India or it is from UK or whether it is from USA or whether it is from France. This should be the final. So this is a global standardization, and the advantages is that if the students are passing out of an engineering college, a tier 1 engineering college accredited by NBA, there is no need for an equivalent certificate for continuing an education in these countries, because they are making a parity. This is a global standardization in terms of these outcomes. So, and they have ensured that all these colleges should should go with outcome-based education with these outcomes as the end point. So this end point will be fixed first and design the curriculum accordingly. So this is what has been happening. And you can identify these first five will be I presume that there are participants from engineering colleges also there. Probably they'll be knowing all these things: engineering knowledge, problem solving, designing. These are the different graduate attributes which has been showcased. Then engineer society ethics, these are the common, these are something common competencies. So these are the common competencies common for all trade, whether it is civil or whether it is mechanical, whether it is computer science, engineering and society. Accountability with the society should be there for all engineering programs. Environment sustainability, irrespective of the trade, environment sustainability is important. Then ethics, individual teamwork, all these are common competencies, and all these are what? Technical competencies. Engineering knowledge related to civil will be different from engineering knowledge related to computer science. So that is problem solving related to their trade. All these are the technical competencies. When we come to an arts and science environment, these integrated capacities or common attributes, we call it as program outcomes. And these specific to some program, that is the content for BA economics will be different from BSc chemistry, will be different from BCom commerce, or will be different from management studies, like that. So what we could say is that these are the something related to program specific outcomes and program outcomes. So both of them are program outcomes, those which has been grouped together for every common, we can call it as program outcomes, and the other program specific outcomes. So that is the difference: program outcomes and program specific outcomes. So what is program outcomes? I told that graduate attribute written in the form of an outcome statement will come as a program outcomes. So these graduate attributes may sometimes related to knowledge base, disciplinary knowledge, domain knowledge. All these things are something related to the knowledge. It can be related to skill, leadership quality, leadership skills, isn't it? Communication skills. So these graduate attribute can be either either in the form of knowledge, it can be either in the form of skills, or it can be either in the form of attitude, environment, sustainability, ethics. So all these things are something related to the attitude. So the graduate attribute, or that you are showcasing initially by the start of the program, may be sometimes related to knowledge base, sometimes related to skill base, or sometimes related to attitude base. So you can so program outcomes are nothing but the knowledge, skills, and attitude. We have showcased it as graduate attribute that the students should have, very important, should have at the end of the program, isn't it? So these are the program outcomes. So before designing the program, what should come first? What are the competencies that students should possess when they leave, when they complete the program and leave the college? That should be showcased first. And what the program should be, how program should be delivered, the different courses which make them competent in the prefixed program outcomes or graduate attributes. That is how the course should be designed. So when we're designing the course, it should come from top to down. from top to down. That is designing downward. Designing downward. When we're designing the course, first fix what are the graduate attribute, then select the course that takes you to the particular graduate attribute, designing downward. And what is PSO? PSO and PO. What is the PSO and PO? Actually, they are of the same level. They are the same level. What the student should be able to do when they leave the college. The common things what the student should be able to do, we can call it as common things. That is the common graduate attribute. We can call it as program outcomes. That is communication skill. It is common to all. Environment sustainability. It is common to all. Ethics is common to all. Social accountability common to all. Leadership quality, it should be common to all. So all these graduate attributes which is common to all could be considered as program outcomes. And program specific outcome is that what is related to the domain knowledge. For instance, suppose if the commerce management students, they have to be potential with the different management strategies, organizational skills like that. A literature student should be more competent in the usage of language. So this is something related to their subject. So all these, whether it is language or commerce or mathematics, all the students should have something common. So common things we can group it as and call it as program outcomes, and that which is related to their area of study, we can call it as program specific outcomes. So, and what is this? So by the end of the program, when the students complete the entire 8 semesters and complete the integrated program, they will be having a mark list which showcases on the level of attainment in the different academical attainment. Together with that, we have already prefixed a different graduate attribute, like, isn't it, graduate attribute like discipline knowledge, communication skill, critical thinking, problem solving ability, etc. We have showcased, and we have started our journey from this one, what the student should attain by the end of the program, isn't it? We have started our journey from this. So after completing the journey, what we have to assess finally, to what extent he has attained in the first graduate attribute, what extent he have attained in the second graduate attribute. So this is the final scorecard with respect to the graduate attribute after completing the entire 8 semesters, or if it is a 3-year program, entire 3-year program, 6 semesters, like that. So this is a standardized scale which we normally use for this assessment program. And normally Mendesa will be detailing about these scores, these scales, etc. Because so this is a 4-point scale from 0, 1, 2, and 3. The highest possible, the highest level of the scale is 3, and the lowest level is 0. And if I want to say that the student has attained communication skill, then I will be fixing a target for that. I'll be fixing a target for that. If I am fixing a target that 50%, that means from 3, if the students have attained 1.5, I can say that they have attained, isn't it? They have attained that particular level of competencies. The minimum required level of competency with respect to communication skill. If I am fixing the qualifying level 1.5 for critical thinking, if the student pass 1.5, okay, out of 3, 1.5, they have scored 1.5, I will say that okay, they have attained the minimum level of which is needed for the program. They can attain up to 3, but minimum. But in intermediately, I am fixing another level, that is 70%. If the students cover 70% and high, I say that they have attained. That is very high. The attainment is very high. If they attained 50% and 50%, I mean between 50 and 70, I say that okay, moderate level. And below, they have not attained. That is less. The attainment is less. So on the basis of this, you can make the attainment. That is attainment calculation. How to calculate? The Mendesa will be detailing, and he will be also showing some automated tools for calculating that attainments, because this is something a tedious process. Now the process is simple. You have to take weighted average, but because of the volume of the data which has been pumped in for the calculations, that becomes make it tedious. So this is the scale out of 3. Okay, we can say that okay, 2.3 out of 3, 2.3 is something a good level. Communication skill 1.8 means 1.5 means 50%, 1.8 is 60%. Okay, not bad. So likewise, you will be able to, you are to make the calculations of the level of attainment of the different PO that is being initially showcased or selected by the college for their educational program, isn't it? Sometimes you say that putting it in a numerical value is not fair. So you can say that we can make it a scale like this. Highly, the attainment is high. Just like we say that, okay, A plus A, just like a grading system. You can say that high level of attainment. If the students have scored more than 70%, we can say high. 70% means if the maximum is 3, 70% means 2.1. 2.1 and above, high. Below 1.5, very low. That is not attained. Between 1.5 and 2.1, moderate. So you can just use a heat map. So green means high. That means 2.3 is greater than 2.1. 2.7 greater than 2.1. 2.6, 2.4. All these green area means 2.1 and above is high. So you have showcased it as green. If it is 1.5 less, the students have not attained. Here no one have here the student have not attained less than 1.5. So if it is less than 1 point, you can give another color red. So what is this? This is the scorecard of one student, isn't it? A student X passing out of your program, completing the program, you will be able to give a scorecard like this. Scored like this, that is to what level, and this will be an authentic profile for the students for applying for any job or something like that. Suppose if you want to apply for a job, you will be creating what some profiles, isn't it? You will be creating a resume, and resume will showcase what are its competencies. This will be an authentic profile. So when you are, if you are in a position in so that you can give a card like this, just like a mark list, you have to be very cautious, otherwise it will backfire it. Suppose if you are giving the communication skill as a 2.7, that means 90%. Suppose if the student is taking this to then employer, he says that, okay, the student coming from this college, okay, 2.7, 90%. I am looking for a person who is competent in marketing, and a person who is who has to take the responsibility of making some official correspondence. So he's the best person that I'm looking for. Without an interview, you can appoint him. 2.7. But the folly is that if this person is not able to write his name correctly, properly, how can he become a good communicator? So that means if you are giving it as a certificate to the students, showcasing this, that should be valid. That means validity means, that is the tool. When can you say the tool valid? If the tool measures what it intend to measure, isn't it? If that is by your assessment mechanisms is measuring the communication skill, if it is measuring validity, if you are giving 2.7, 90%, you should be a very effective communicator. But if you are giving 2.7 and if he is not able to write a correspondence by his own, a letter, even a leave letter, he is not able to write a leave letter correctly, then definitely that will backfire not on the students but on the college only. So the evaluation system should be very efficient, very efficient. Then only you will be able to. So at the initial stages, I have not seen any colleges who is giving this a card sheet like this and saying this is the level of expertise. In future, when you become competent, when your system becomes mature, you'll be able to give it like this, isn't it? Now for the purpose of making the quality, you keep it as an internal document and you can submit it for when you file the SSR report for accreditation and all, you can keep it as, because you're implementing down outcome based education, so you have to assess outcomes, program level outcomes, so you have to check so this is the outcome of one student. If the 100 students, there should be 100 such like. Combining these 100 students' performance, you are taking that average, you will be able to identify the program level attainment, the average attainment of the students for each. Suppose if the disciplinary knowledge, if the 100 students, the first student is 2.3. If the 100 students, the 100 students average will showcase the program average. That is a college average. The student average, the college average could be documented for the purpose. Okay. And this is something, the course outcome, this is something very I still remember. I will try to complete it very fast. Course outcome. So before we are identify what the student should be able to do when they leave the program. Similarly, when you come to the granular level, that is, each semester is been packed with the different courses, right? For semester, probably there'll be 5 to 6 courses will be there, and there will be 5 to 6 courses distributed distributed across all these semesters. So one course, if you're taking one course, if you are designing the course in an outcome-based education manner, first thing what you have to identify, what the student should be capable of doing after completing this course. This should be identified first, isn't it? Identified first. That is just like we have identified what the student should be capable of doing when they leave the program outcome. Same scenario, scaled down to a course level. What the student should be capable of doing on completing the course. You will be getting an answer. Write that answer in the form of the outcome formula, which I'll be showing in the next slide. So what is this? They are the resultant knowledge and skills the student acquire at the end of the course. Program outcome and entire program. Scale down to a course, what the student should be capable of doing when they complete a course. So it is the responsibility of the teachers who are handling the different course to formulate the course outcomes. So how do they formulate the course outcome? They have to ask the question to themselves. That is, after completing this course, what the students are capable of doing. What are the that is yesterday I've told that that is learning means their change, isn't it? From the initial behavior to the terminal behavior. So before starting the course, the students will be of some initial behavior, and after completing the course, they'll be enhanced to a higher level. So what is the level at the higher level after completing the course? That has to be prefixed first. And all the activities that you give as a part of the curriculum for the course should be streamlined for the attainment of that end goal. That is, you have to design from the end goal. That is designing down. That is what it in the principle that I told, that it's a life we are designing down, isn't it? So so simple way of writing here is that normally if the course have got 5 modules, you take that one module, because now we have already migrating it from this normal traditional approach, the curriculum without changing, we are just putting it in an outcome based format. So you take one module, you ask a question. After completing this module, what the students should be capable of doing, you'll be getting an answer. If you are getting 2 answers, you can reframe it as 2 course outcome for that module. So likewise, you can create a course outcome module wise, that is cross sectional way. Suppose if all these courses are having the same pattern, you can take it in a longitudinal way. That is, instead of cutting it module wise, you can ask the question on completing of the entire course, what the students are capable of doing. The answer you have to identify and formulate it in the form of an outcome. Write it in the form of an outcome. So these are the 2 ways, one cross-sectional ways, and normally I have seen that the teachers are more interested in the first cross-sectional way, because if you are preparing a question from first module, definitely that will be related to that particular outcome which has been pointing. So it will be very easy for mapping and all. So because all these things will be discussed in the upcoming sections. So you can just read. So this is what outcome means literally. And the course are the major domain specific written using an action verb which are specific, measurable and demonstrated. So it is here Bloom's taxonomy comes to play. That is, you are prefixing to what level that you are going to take the students in the topic that you are teaching. That is what the students are capable of doing, whether they are able to analyze something related to the topic, or whether they are able to apply doing, or whether they are able to evaluate what the students are capable of doing on completing that module, isn't it? If you are teaching Ohm's law, what the students are capable of doing, apply Ohm's law for calculating Ohm's law is related to resistance, right? Resistance, isn't it? So that is the scenario. So after completing what is Ohm's law, you will be teaching everything, and finally the student should attain that level of competencies related to the particular topic. So that should be prefixed first, isn't it? So the Bloom's taxonomy verb will help you to ascertain to what level in the learning ladder you have to elevate the students in that topic. Sometimes it may be an introductory topic, introduction. You will not be able to take the students to the create level in an introduction topic. So what is the possibility of the topic has to be identified first. Ask the question, okay, I want to take them to a conceptual level. So taking them to an understanding level of the topic. So the that verb you showcase in that outcome, verb means action. What the students are capable of doing, action will showcase the level of to which you will be taking the students. So while writing the course outcome, it is mandatory that that course outcome should be written with an action verb and the learning statement. So this is the formula for writing a course outcome. Definitely, probably everybody of you have written. I presume that all of you have written the outcomes related to a course. So normally, the course outcome should have two components. That is, you can view this action verb and learning statement. Learning statement. Suppose if I am teaching the topic Ohm's law, the learning component is Ohm's law. And verb component means I want to apply Ohm's law in the relevant situation. Apply Ohm's law to calculate resistance of PDF, etc. Like that. Apply. So the action verb will showcase to what height you are taking the students in the learning ladder. The Bloom's taxonomy will showcase the height. And the importance is that if you want to map a question with this outcome, it is mandatory for you to compare the level of the outcome and the level of the question. So for measuring an application level outcome, if you are preparing an remembering level question, it is not coming up to the level of that outcome. So it is only very feebly mapped. The mapping details, okay, the next class, the next sections I will be discussing in detail. So for mapping, you need verbs. So verb will ensure that what is the level of the outcome. And yesterday we have identified, taken a question and identified what is the level of the questions. So comparing the levels of learning only, we will be able to make mapping. So for writing an outcome, especially at a course level, you should use some verbs, specific verbs that will showcase what the students are capable of doing. In the sense, the students will be able to compare, or students will be able to identify, the students will be able to explain. That specifically what the students are capable of doing should be showcased. That is a better way of writing that outcome. So what are the components in an outcome? Action verb plus learning statement. So I'm handling one of the segment of operational research at Marine College. So there is one outcome which this operational research deals with some optimization techniques. Optimization techniques. So here I have written that outcome. So this outcome has got, what is the verb? Appraise. Appraise means to evaluate. So when I read appraise, the person who has been reading will be able to identify to what level I am going to take the students, isn't it? It is not remembering level, over that, over application, over analysis, isn't it? And evaluate. Appraisal means evaluate, isn't it? So after, on completion of this topic, the student should be able to appraise what? The learning statement. I am teaching optimization techniques, the effectiveness of optimization techniques. So different optimization techniques I am teaching them. So which optimization technique is most effective in which context in the industry, isn't it? So clubbing them, I have written an outcome, isn't it? What the students are capable of doing? Appraise or evaluate the effectiveness of optimization technique. If I restrict here, it will be a very broad, isn't it? it will be very broad. It can be industry, it can be agriculture, in whatever space it could be there. So to delimit it, I have included the context also. So reading them together appraise the effectiveness of optimization technique in industry. So this is an outcome. Suppose if I am teaching a management topic, the principles of organization, first class, isn't it? I just want to make them to develop a conceptual idea. What should be the outcome? The students should be able to explain the principles of the management, of the principles of organization. If I say that, this is what the students should be able to do at the end of my class. So that should be showcased first, and my lecturing or all the activities should enable the students to attend this one. That is what outcome-based education. So this is the way of writing an outcome. So in an outcome-based education, first top level outcome, program level, then course level. And course level outcome, you are not completing the course in a stretch. It will be spanning for about 6 months or something like that. So you will be dividing it into small a small topic. You will be taking a topic, going to the class, complete the topic. So when you are going to the class with the topic, first thing you have to identify what is the topic level outcome, isn't it? On teaching the topic, what the students should be capable of doing, isn't it? So you can see the hierarchy. What is the top hierarchy? Program level outcome. What is the second hierarchy? Course level outcome. And what is the third hierarchy? Each course will be divided into different topics, which I go to the class and interact with the students. So when I go to the class, again, topic level outcome. So when I go to the topic level outcome, what all activities I should include in that 1 hour class, so that this by the end of the class, this outcome is met. So this is how that this outcome based education becomes functional when you come to the teaching learning space. So now it's a practical section for you. You can formulate a small outcome. That is topic level outcome. Don't take a course, take a topic. That is, you are going to teach one topic for the students. Senior, what you are expecting from that after the class, what the students are capable of doing. So actually, I will tell one more thing. The format of an outcome and the format of a question that you put in the examination, both of them will be having the same structure, isn't it? Isn't it? After completing that particular module, the student should be able to apply such and such thing, or that is the same structure will be there, and the question will be a miniature of that particular question, particular outcome, isn't it? So I normally in many sections I used to say that the outcome is a glorified question. Okay. Don't put it in. You can put it in the LMS. Padlet is there. There is a space for showcasing these outcomes and in different subjects. So when you visit, you can just check what the others who are working in the same domain as you, the different outcomes that they have been showcased. You will be able to read it, view it, and you can put your own way of writing outcomes so that the others who comes after you will be able to read the outcomes that is been given to you. Okay, so this is you have to publish it. Don't put it here. So this is a check. So I've told that while writing an outcome, there should be an action verb, and there should be a learning statement related to the topic that you have preparing that outcome, isn't it? So if you have written that outcome with these verbs, I don't say that it is wrong. It is right, but it is a good practice. It is a good practice, if possible, to eliminate these words, especially while writing topic level outcome as well as course level outcome. Why? In the sense that what is the actually outcome? What the students are capable of doing. What the students are capable of doing should be precisely and concisely stated. If I say that the students understand, can you say what the students are capable of doing? Is it clearly stated what the students are clearly if what the students are capable of doing in, if I use that term, understand? Because you have to give some other verbs under understand for ensuring that. So outcome itself should be clear and precise. clarity should be there, what the students are capable of doing. That is why, as while writing program level outcome, okay, because you are not directly measuring program level outcome. But when you're coming to the granular level, the course level, as well as in the topic level, it is always better to put little outcome which are very specific. If I say identifies, in the previous, the student appraise the effectiveness. Appraise means what they're capable of doing is being clearly. The student understand means it is not. It have got some idea. We want to take them to a conceptual level, but it do not showcase what the students are capable of. Appreciate, know, study, familiar, all these learn, all these things, verbs do not showcase what the students are capable of doing. So if you have written it with these verbs, if you are having an alternative verbs which is specific, it is a better practice. Because in the father of this outcome based education is Spady. In his book, it is very clearly state that the difference between objective and outcome is that objective is vague and outcome is bringing clarity to the objective in terms of what the students are capable of doing. So what the students are capable of doing should be showcased specifically. So I will just make a comparison. Suppose if I'm taking a topic in democracy, I'm going to take a topic. So if I say that the students will understand democracy, students will understand democracy. Is it clear what the student understand? So does it say what the students are capable of doing? It is not explicitly saying what the students are capable of doing, isn't it? Yeah, but it is saying the students understand, isn't it? So that is not visible clearly. So suppose if I write that the students describe major theories of democracy, this is what the students are capable of doing. So so how will you ensure that the student understood? If the students are able to describe the different the major theories of democracy or the principles of democracy, or if the students explains the principles of democracy, this is what explicitly say what the students are doing. So that is a good outcome, because it is bringing clarity on what the students are capable of doing. It is specific. The other one is not specific. The students will study about the impact of cultural diversity on nursing. Will study about. So this is having a nature of objective. Clarity is less. So what the students are capable of doing? Evaluate the impact of cultural diversity on nursing. The students are able to evaluate. That is bringing clarity. So this is something we have to, because we will be writing outcomes. These two are the outcomes, but the one is outcomes in an objective way. It's a rather an objective. The other is clarity is there. So an outcome should be specific what the students are capable of doing. Clarity should be there, and it is measurable. If this task is performed, then you can measure it. To what extent of accuracy that the students are doing this, that is the measure of the outcome, isn't it? So this is the way that outcome should be written. And here is the quality check of a good outcome. There are four criteria that enable you to ensure whether it is an outcome is a good, isn't it? What is the first one? Are they written using the action verb to specify definite and observable behavior? Once again repeat, definite and observable behavior. That is why I told that it is a good practice to eliminate, understand, and put some specific verbs related to the understand, like describes, summarize, like that. Definite. So whether they are written using some specific, especially that lower level, because you are directly measuring that. Higher level, you can, there is excuse. Second, does the language describe the student's target rather than teacher's behavior? So objective is more or less, say, the teacher's objective. Objective is something related to, it is putting the teachers. Normally we say that if you write the outcome by starting two will make an outcome statement into an objective. Obviously, if it is like that, okay, eliminate the two and write what the students are capable of doing. So the outcomes are productive specifications. Actually, the students are capable of doing from the point of view what they are able to do. So if they are phrased in such a way that it describes what the students are capable of doing, Okay, that is something, the second one. So the third one, do the outcome clearly describe the abilities, knowledge, and value the students of the course. So I told that the outcome has got two components. One, action verb, and the second, learning statement. So whether the topic level outcome, if you're writing a topic level outcome, whether you are using that learning statement there in that outcome, that is something important. Because I have written an outcome on what appraisal of the effectiveness of the optimization technique. Optimization technique is the topic. So that knowledge part has been showcased there. So the outcome should showcase that particular part also. It can be something, maybe the abilities, or it can be in the form of the knowledge or whatever it may be. That part should be there. Okay, verb, that learning domain of part should be showcased, and whether it is been phrased in such a way that it explains what the students are capable of doing. And finally, the most important is whether you are able to collect reliable data for assessing the outcome, isn't it? Suppose if I say this is the outcome, is there a tool by which you can measure it? Because all these things are projective measurements. A test, either you can measure it by means of some activity, giving them an activity to a certain, to what level that they have attained it, or by giving them a test or multiple choice question, or so different thing, the different types of activity that precisely this measures or quantify the attainment level. So that is something very important. If all these four criteria are met, you can say that your outcome is a good outcome. Just showcased a few examples, because physics, here, what is the outcome? Apply. Apply what? The learning statement. The law, the Hooke's law, for what? To compute this one in a given material. So verb, the learning statement, and the context for a given materials. So likewise, explain the principles of organization. So I'm just going to introduce in my commerce class the principles of organization. So on completing, what explains. Uh, so the formula for writing a simple topic level outcome is, it should contain what? Verb. It should contain the learning statement, clubbed together forms an outcome. Okay, so evaluate the safety and efficacy of the drug classes. So likewise, this is how you can write an outcome. So this is the formula for writing an outcome. So next is how we can use this formula for writing a program outcome, isn't it? Actually, a program outcome, we actually, the program outcome, we are now only at the graduate attribute. How to convert a graduate attribute into an outcome statement, program outcome. How to write a program specific outcomes. All these things will be coming up in the next sections. So in this, what we have showcased is what is OBE, what is the importance of OBE, what is the architecture of OBE, what each components of OBE signifies, what is the final assessments, what is the format of the final assessments, and what is the formula for writing an outcome at the formula. And from this, how to write all these outcomes, mapping all these things will come in the next section. So what is coming to the task? This will be the task. So you will be having this you can download it from in your what you could say learning management system. You can download it from the learning management system, and this is being given as a lesson activity, not lesson activity. This has been given as a this
Workshop activity.
workshop activity. That is workshop
Yeah,
activity.
workshop.
So the specialty of the workshop activity is that uh, it it progresses in two phases. First thing, you have to submit your response, where you have to complete this one and to submit there. After Sijan will be giving you details of when this first phase will end. After first phase ending, you will not be able to submit it. Then it will be passing to the second phase, where you are evaluating not yours, the others submitted by the others. So those the task that you are submitted will be evaluating by some other participants who have been using this LMS, and you will be assessing 4 or 5 of the others one. So this is twofold benefit. One, this is an exercise for you to assess the quality of your outcome, and the second, when you go to the second phase, you will be provided with 3 or 4 sheets where you have to evaluate and write your remark regarding the outcomes where others have submitted. So double fold benefit: writing, evaluating yours, and evaluating the outcomes of your peers. So this is some a very good activity. And how to do it? SOP, that is standard operation procedures, is been given as small videos are there. I told you that every activity showcasing in the LMS is hand holded by SOPs, and Sujin will be detailing on the target date by which these the shift should be there. Sorry that I didn't explain what you have to do here. So here what you have to do is that you have to write the name of the course. You have to write the name of the course here. Probably if the name of the course is optimization technique, you can write optimization. Because I'm not good in typing. So optimization techniques, okay, this is the course name, and you have got the different outcomes. Suppose 1 2 3 4 5, you can write this outcomes, outcome code 1 2 3 serial number. You can write the outcome, and this is the quality check. So these are the 4 criteria which I have mentioned in the previous slide. So are they written using action verb? So you have to check whether there is action verb. Explain. This is not related to optimization technique. Okay, just to showcase. You can click here. There is a drop down. Yes or no. Okay. Yes. Action verb is there. But second, whether it's written in the statement that what the students are capable of doing. The students will explain democracy, explain the theories of democracy. Okay. So this is S. Okay. Third one, do they have? Okay, I am taking the topic democracy. So name of the course will be a topic in the principles of democracy or something like that, social science or something like that. So this is S. And fourth one, okay, I can give a multiple choice question related to this. So this is also I can measure whether they could explain, or I can have some technical sections on and here whether they are able to explain it like this. So explain means understanding level. So all the 4 criteria are met. So this is the remark. Explain democracy. It's a good outcome. Suppose if any of these outcomes are not met, if this is not met, then the outcome needs improvement. Outcome needs improvement. So anything, any of the criteria, if it is lagging, definitely the outcome needs improvement. If all of them are there, the code number one, the outcome, the remark, it is automated. So it is already automated there. This is so this automation is made on the basis of the remarks that they have showcased. So when you go to the evaluation form of the others, you can check whether these are correct in terms of these outcomes. If they are not correct, you can write the remark, isn't it? So this remark is given on the basis all the fours are right. Yes, it's a good outcome. If anyone is, if there is no Bloom's taxonomy verb, then it is not okay. So you can check it like this. So this is one which has been given by that person who is submitting it. So you can cross check whether this is right and give the remarks, save it and submit it. So that is what you have to do in this segment. So, okay, so this will be your introductory section on outcome-based educations, and there is the upcoming sections. There are a lot of things will be coming up, mapping, calculations, and then this curriculum in lines of, so a lot of things will have to come. So I'm concluding it. Sorry, it's about 50. Let me go back, and I'll be taking the questions if you do have anything. If you do have any questions, over to you, Sijan,
Yeah,
if that will
Sunil sir, there are some questions in the chat. If you can see your chat box,
okay, okay.
since you stopped the presentation, right? You can see the chat.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have seen. Let me check it out. One question is from Angel. How to measure graduate attribute? Graduate attribute will be written in the form of PO, that is program outcome, and that will be calculated in terms of the attainment that the students gain by the course level outcome. And so we will be calculating first CO level outcome, course outcomes, attainment of course outcomes, and on the basis of the course outcomes we will be calculating PO attainment. What all course outcome which has been pointed to the particular graduate attribute, they will be we will be taking the weighted average of that and we'll be calculating that. The calculation part will be discussed by Dr. Mendes in the upcoming sections. Then till when we submit the task day 1, day 2, that will be given by Sijan, will be given. How to check the LMS? Sir, can the Bloom's taxonomy questions you can demonstrate yesterday be reframed as, that is why I told that both of them will have the same structure. The question have got a learning level which could be showcased through the action verb and outcome, and that is why I told that an outcome is a glorified question, because both of them have a same structure. I think you have got a clarity regarding the outcome and question. It's a very good question. I liked it.
Okay, I will take that question regarding the task one. Task one doesn't have any submit. Task one, you can submit till you have access to the LMS. But your task two, that is your workshop activity, has a period for submission. That is till the um, uh, 5th of November. Till Sunday night, you have submission phase. And after that, it will move on to the assessment phase. Till the 8th, it will be in the assessment phase. So you can do the assessment as sir had specified. You can assess other stuff. Yes, it will be good if you can. There's a question: is it mandatory to attend the task? Yes, it will be good if you can attend them, so that it will be a good learning experience for you.
Okay, Sajan, let me take one or two questions there.
Yeah, please.
Dr. O. Patmaraj, I has given one question that why set 3 for the maximum level? It is a scale which has been standardized and been used by this NBA and also accepted by this NAC for these purposes. But it is not mandatory. If you want to have a granular, more detailed level, you can extend the scale to 10 or 5 or whatever it may be. There is no issues. It is only a scale, isn't it? If I'm taking the marks out of 20, if I'm making it into percentage, it will be expanded, isn't it? Just like that. But this is a standardized scale which has been used for assessments. And if you're using the scale, your calculations will become more simple. Otherwise, you have to find criteria. What make it 5? Here you can fix criteria. What make it 3? What make it 2? What make it? So criteria simple. If you're making it up to 10, you have to set criteria. What make it 10? What make it 9? What is the difference between 9 and 10? All these things will be making it things complicated. So already it is a standardized scale. It is not prepared by us. It has been that which has been used by NBA as well as been. So I think it's answered. So how to fix the attainment value? Attainment value, when we say that, I think your question is regarding the target. What is attainment value which makes them mandatory for? So that is a target. You can fix it randomly. Normally, we can start with some particular level. Normally, if 50 or 60, something like that. And you have to ensure that all the students are going much ahead. In the next year, you can increase it a little more higher. So gradually, the target value also should go ahead so that your quality of that stuff has been coming up. So that is the normal procedure of fixing the target. Is it not the objective or the objective set, the seal of the learner help him snore to sky? I didn't understand what this is meant. Is it not the objective or the objective set, the seal of the learner help him snore into the sky? It is it not the this is whether to snore into the sky or not, that is not our matter of concern. The thing is that it is the faculty, that is the person who have been handling outcome based education is definitely the teacher. He is the captain of the ship, so you have to set the stage for the students to make the things more active, dynamic, and when he comes and realize whether the outcomes are met, then definitely he won't snore into the sky. He will be an active participant. Okay, technical skills. So these are some of the things which has been showcased. What is the major difference between PEO and PO? That's what PEO are distant goal, which first we have to identify. PO are those competencies that we should ensure when the students leave. So these competencies are nothing but the takeaways from your college, isn't it? What the takeaways, the communication skill, the problem solving ability, the takeaways, what takeaways that you're taking after on completion, what are the level of mastery that the students attain when they leave, and this is essential for actualization of the educational goals. So PEO are nothing but the goals, and these are nothing but the competencies that the students should attain. As of PO is PO is objective goal, and PO are those competencies which is being derived from PEO. Obviously, they are hanging down from PEO, so definitely they have relationship. The PEO and PO cannot go in two ways. The PO are those competencies which you have to equip the students so that they become successful in the lines of PEO. How many number of points we can give for PUs or CUs? How many PUs? PUs are normally prepared by the institutional level. Definitely, I have seen 7 to 12 is okay, fine, but it is up to the discretion of the institution. And for CO, it's ideal to have the CO from 4, 5, or less, between 5 to 7 is an ideal, or 4 to 7 it's an ideal. And if you have some institutional policy to delimit it to 2 or 3, go along with that, isn't it? Normally, if you are having a free hit for this COs, it is always ideal to keep it in an optimum value of 5 to 6, so that it will be easy for you to, so, I've seen some colleges, I'm not mentioning it, the top colleges which is in the top level of NIRF, that there are some courses they have been showcasing about 20 CUs. I'm wondering how they will be sitting and calculating all these CEOs for ad, because it will be a definite Herculean task, and all these CEOs have to be pointed to the different this POs. So the calculation complexities will definitely rise. So it is always better to, because these CEOs what they are showcased are redundant. The same thing has been he's been showcased in active, passive voice, different ways. So it is the ability of the teachers to have a comprehensive view of the CEO and make it limited to about 5 to 6. Some people write unit wise and not based on the whole syllabus. It becomes difficult to map it later. Yeah, that is functional. You said is right. I told that there are two ways of writing, one cross sectional and one longitudinal. It is an easy way of writing cross sectional, because take one topic, one module. If you say it is module or unit, take that unit or module and ask a question. After completing this, what the students are capable of doing in a comprehensive way, write it. The answer that you get, you can formulate it in by using that formula that I've given, action verb, and as well as the learning statement together with the context or something relevant like that. So that if you're putting any question from that module, it will be related to the COs. So otherwise, it will be a little difficult. So gap analysis. Gap analysis means when you come to this outcome-based education, definitely we are when we come to the operational phase of teaching learning environment, we will be ascertaining formative evaluation to ascertain whether the students are progressing in lines with these what you could say these outcomes. So if you identify some gaps that is that need to be filled, gaps in the sense whether the students are slow learners or something like that, you have to give some remedial uh, uh, this to the students to keep in rapport with the program, or in rapport with the outcomes, because by the end of the course all the students should be attaining that outcome. So that is it. So the gap analysis could be effectively done by properly using that formative evaluation tools. So that gap should be identified at every stages, and that has to be remedied at so that actually in one of the sections which I attended at Coimbatore or something like that, there was one professor who was there, shared the stage with me. Has studied under SPADI, and he told that according to SPADI, in the live sections, he told that in outcome-based education, just like a closed door, it will open only when they have attained that outcome. So it is important and mandatory that you have to ensure the students attain that outcome at every stages. And if there is a gap, that should be monitored by means of formative evaluations, and that has to be filled then and there. Okay, ideally, how many POs are framed? POs will be framed by the institution. That is up to the discretion of the institutions. How to set the initial target? Okay, that I have explained. What is the difference between the assessment and evaluation? Assessment and evaluation, normally we use it in a that is interchangeable way, but there is a difference. That assessment is the actually the quantifying part, and evaluation is passing out the judgment. So evaluation is a very broader scenario, we could say that. So assessment is the evaluation is done by making the assessment of the students at different activities. So is so the assessment of the different activities, on the basis of that you can pass the evaluation, isn't it? So if I'm connecting it to Bloom's taxonomy, if you are setting criterias and evaluating a criteria and analyzing the performance, that means you are assessing the performance at different stages, consolidating it and passing out evaluation. So evaluation is a little more a step higher to the assessments. Assessment is just you are for evaluating, you are assessing or estimating the effectiveness of each criteria, on the basis of criteria, and then we are evaluating. We can continuous assessment and end term evaluation. Uh, that is actually formative and summative. Continuous assessment is something helping you to fill the gap, identify whether the students are going in par with your your classes. And summative evaluation is the end evaluation. That is final evaluation is there. What is the exact difference between learning outcome and course level? If the outcomes are written in terms of a course, on completion of the course, what the students are able of doing, you can call it as course level outcome. Suppose if you're giving a topic for the students to learn, that is a fragment of the course. And in an outcome based, everything has to be constructively aligned to course, as well as the topic that you teach. Everything has to be aligned to the outcomes. So if you're taking a small topic from that course, and before giving the topic, you have to set an outcome for that particular topic. What will be the learning outcome of the topic? Isn't it? So that is a more granular level to the outcome. And the higher level of the outcome is PO. So the hierarchy goes like that: PO, program level; CO, course level; TO, topic level, and you can again go into a granular level. That is, each learning topic you can set an outcome. So that is the hierarchy. Yeah, definitely the PPT will be there in your LMS. So I think most of the questions are answered, and if you're having more questions still, we can interact in our forum. Not only me, all the resource persons may be visiting this timely, as well as the others who are actively. From the questions, I identified that many of you have got a very sharp insights into outcome-based education. I feel happy. So I think if you are making maximum utilization of your forum, you can collaborate your share your experiences, learning things, so that we can have a win and win approach towards this. So I think every questions have been answered. And Sijin, back to you for your.
All right. If those people who have not got access to the LMS and would like to receive access to the LMS, you can make the payment to the bank account details that I've given in the chat. You can make the payment of ₹500 to the bank account details that's there in the chat. Okay. Once you make the payment, also please send the payment proof screenshot to the that WhatsApp number that is stated there. Okay. Then once that is done, if you have done the payment today, you might get it later in the day or only by tomorrow. Okay. So wait for it and then access the LMS. The video of today's as well as yesterday's session are there in the LMS. All the sessions, the recorded videos of each day will be available towards the late when the day's session is over, later in the day and or by the next day. Okay, so please access them in the LMS. Also, there are some tasks and activities which are there. You can access them. Today, there is a workshop activity which you can do, as Sir had mentioned. You can download that sheet and fill in those details and upload it back. Your submission for that is till the 5th of November, and then it will move on to the assessment phase till the 8th. So you can do that as well in the LMS. Also, you have the Padlet in which you can do the entry of the course outcomes. All right. I think we have taken all the questions. Please make sure you join in tomorrow as well. Tomorrow we have mapping of outcomes, attainment calculation and tools for OBE, various analytical reports on OBE for accreditation. All this will be all this will be taken tomorrow. Yeah, I can see some questions regarding LMS. If you have any problem with LMS, I've given you a support number which is there. Please call that number or send a message there. They will assist you with the LMS. Okay. Yeah, please note tomorrow will be the topic on mapping of outcomes, attainment calculation, and tools for OBE, various analytical reports for OBE for accreditation. All right. Yeah, with that, I think we will end for today, and we will see you tomorrow, same time at 7 p.m. All right. Yeah, so have a good evening. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Yes.
So have a
Thank
good
you,
night. Okay, thank you, Sijin.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks for that session.
Okay, so the next day, Dr. Mentors and this Suresh Nambudiri all will be joining, and I'll be back in the last day. So to bring all these topology of this outcome-based education into that AI space. So that will be interesting for you. So
Yes.
how your work down will be reduced to, I think not that is 10%. That is by using ChatGPT. That will be coming with the last day. So thank you. I'm happy that there are a lot of questions
Yes.
so that I can also think and we can discuss it. Discussions makes things very better. So thank you all. Thank you for your patient hearing. So have a very good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. All right, we will see you all tomorrow then at 7 p.m. Have a pleasant evening.